Let's talk to the community for a second, because we've seen this happen in a number of different circumstances. It's happened over where we are, and luckily we got that back on track. But what do you lose in a community, right, when you lose the swimming pool?
There are a lot of communities that do not have a downtown, or they do not have like the main street that everybody can go to and hang out at. Um, it's the pool becomes the community pool becomes a center of where everybody can interact. It becomes sort of like the town center. And so if you take a look at a community where there is no downtown, and there's no place for kids to really hang out, right? And so what gets them to all hang out someplace where it might be you're having a pool dance on the weekends, Friday or Saturday night. It might be that, even if kids, if they're on the swim team, they definitely feel part of the greater community. Because that's, especially if it's a team. I mean, I make a distinction between swim teams and swim clubs, but I'm going to treat them both as the same now. Whether it's a swim team or a swim club, if you're on that team or club, you're on that organization, you feel part of a greater community. But even if you're not, it's where a place that everybody can come to. But then there's, I guess, in terms of let's say you're in a community where there is a downtown, there is a place where all the kids can go hang out to. There's, maybe there's a roller rink, or maybe there's a mall. And I mean, I'm dating myself, but everybody hanging out at the mall, or there, whatever there might be. The pool is still a draw. In other words, whether you're looking at senior citizens in arthritic classes, or you're taking a look at people who are doing aqua yoga, or they're doing I forget the name of it, aqua zumba, or you're doing swim lessons, or you are teaching CPR and life saving, or if you have access to both a cold water and warm water facility, whether you have physical therapy, or just somebody who's training to do a triathlon. I mean, you just think about all the different groups that are involved in that. I mean, you're not going to take a basketball court and have every type of community member have something to do with that basketball court. You're not going to take a football field and have every single community member have something to do in that football field. Now, and again, I'm totally supportive of basketball and football, and the rec basketball, rec football, high school basketball, high school football. But in swimming, in the pool, you can have, like I said, from arthritic classes to, aqua yoga to aqua zumba to swim lessons to physical therapy to triathlon training to swim team to just hanging out and lounging around, to learning CPR and first aid. Right, all those things can happen like at one place in that facility, that aquatic facility. So it really becomes a draw.
We saw a number of pools go down and leave the communities. Maybe they had some kind of problem from one of the storms or something like this, and it's just a little less expensive maybe for the community just to do away with that pool. And what we noticed in there is you lose something great when you lose the pool. And it's really important, I think, for communities to understand this. And what you lose is you lose the tutelage and the time spent between great mentors like yourself and the children that are going to grow up to be the community leaders. And so
Right.
what you lose is you put them on to their phones, and you put them on to different areas, and you chase them away
Right.
from incredible capabilities of learning and developing hard work, work ethic, things like this, and goal setting, and the leadership that we lose from one man like you missing in that community impacts thousands of people that come through you.
Well, thank you. I mean, I appreciate the thoughts and the positive feedback. For swimming, if you have those 10 or 15 kids every year, starting from the age of like 6 or 7, and swimming, if they swim there and all the way through senior year of high school, they're used to putting in a lot of hard work for very little glory, a lot of sacrifice, so that they can achieve something small later on. that has a benefit in that community, because what do you end up with? It may only be 10 or 15 out of 100 or 200 kids in that class, but that's a segment of the population that's now learning about how to, that's going to take those early values that were instilled, that were, instilled on them, or where they're sort of indoctrinated. And I don't mean indoctrinated in a negative sense, but in a positive sense, where they're going to apply that to, to their jobs or to their community, whether they go on to being, a teacher in the community or another community, or a police officer or a business owner, or the mayor or town councilman, whatever it is, whatever level you're at, whatever you're doing, whether you, go off and get your PhD and come back, or you stay in here you have, or working at the local community convenience store. Those values of how to put in the hard work, how to be a good team member, how to delay that gratification so that you can make yourself, your business, your school, your community better. Those are all valuable, and swimming does that in a way that it's a little bit more intense because of the nature of the sport.
Right. It's really incredible, the benefits that everyone receives from working with incredible mentors, and, and we think that's a really important area that should be noted when a community considers the idea of possibly not reopening pools or not building pools, is and the benefits that you'll get are tremendous. Let's go